spacemen sail the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Heave home maze upon the starry sea, we're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Oh, 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 voyage across the celestial sea. Oh.
In the abyss of the cosmos we set sail. Through crimson skies our ship prevails. Across the stars a celestial flight, metal warriors bound by might. Ooh, yeah. In this realm of shadows darkness unfurls, a symphony of chaos, where planets whirl and nebula of fury untamed, sailing through the void where nothing's the same. We ride through the cosmos, a metal storm, defying gravity, our spirits transform.
Digging deep in the Martian soil, searching for that precious ore. With pickaxes and heavy hearts, we're the miners of the cosmic shore. On this barren land, we march as one, unearthing treasures under the sun. In the cratered plains where no one dreamt, we're the pioneers on this frontier we're sent. Oh, we mine on the red planet soil, drilling down, down, down for the treasures we toil. With grit and determination, we push ahead for Mars hidden riches.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the stream. How are we all doing today? Hope we're all doing fantastic. I'm doing pretty well. I've got caffeine. I'm a simple man. Caffeine, some entertainment, talking to myself in my room, all those things. Alrighty, there we are. Wolfos, I did add you to my list. I did mean to send you a message on Twitch, Reddit, but it slipped my mind. But you are added to the list. Hope you're all doing fantastic this morning. Jeremy, James, Samantha, Gigantic, and the Phoenix Ball, Captain No Name, all of you, the regulars. Yes, whacking one's noggin is definitely a good way to ruin a good morning. Almost as bad as stubbing your toe. Although, I've broken my toes, stubbing them. I haven't broken my head, bumping it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Good morning, Donald. I hope you're doing well. Good stuff, good stuff. These are the big cans. 553 milliliters. Always fascinates me how they got these weird sizes. Why not 500? Why not 600? Why does it have to be 553? Probably a conversion. Eh? Fair enough, Peanut, fair enough. Good morning, Kevin Schultz. I hope you're doing well. So I broke my toe on my right foot so bad that I can't wear most shoes on there anymore. Thankfully, the types of shoes I wear work, which is either hiking sandals or hiking boots / work boots. If I wear normal shoes, it's so painful. Fair enough. Sharp blows to the head. Thankfully, I've managed to injure myself quite various ways, but I've had concussions and stuff, but I've never cracked the skull. I think this might be... What is ounces? I'm going to answer this question now. I'm pretty sure it's a conversion thing. Ounce to gram. It's not even a round number. In American ounce? Fluid ounce? We have fluid ounce here. Because obviously fluid ounce is different than. Fair enough, James. Fair enough. Sometimes making the papers is good. Most of the time, however, it's not. Well, I mean, the closest that I've ever had to... hold on a second. I'm busy. 53. Yeah, the closest I've come to dying is the bleed that I had after the sinus surgery. It was quite rough. I lost about 1 liter of blood in 12 hours, which is not good. That is considered quite bad. And if I hadn't gone to the hospital, I probably would have just bled to death. Yeah, so 553 milliliters. That's... my mouse. 553 milliliters. Who knows? It's just one of those weird sizes. Good morning, Lord Volpex. I hope you're doing well. Well, I mean, strep throat is one of the leading causes of voice actors having to stop being voice actors. Similar to me, the strep gets into the nerve endings and causes damage. It can cause permanent damage. I mean, my damage is permanent. Yeah, Kevin, I was laughing about it the day it happened. I was making fun of the doctors and nurses and myself. So. Yeah. Every time I've been to the hospital, I've made the nurses and doctors laugh. Yeah. I mean, I've had my tonsils removed, but I do know somebody who had theirs grow back and had them removed twice. Good morning, Philip. I hope you're doing well. Yes, conversions are weird. It's probably just a standardized size from somewhere, and it just ends up being a very weird milliliter and ounces and all of that. Alright, we seem to be having a good morning. Lots of people. Hello, hello. They do on occasion. It's not unheard of. It's not super common, but it's definitely not unheard of. If they leave any, when they take it out, if they leave any tonsil, it can grow back. Yeah, a gallon's about 4.6 liters, I think. Thank you, Zorima. Doing as well as can be. I'm actually surprisingly well, considering we did 10,000 words yesterday. Voices, okay. So, I think we'll do this for another couple days. Push that stamina up, and then hopefully next week we can do a little bit more recording. Oof, sounds rough, Wolfos. Very rough. Thankfully, I haven't had too many Thank you for the subscription, Deathbringer. It's very much appreciated. I haven't been in too many... I've been in 2 car accidents. Major car accidents. Without any particular injury. First one, I broke my collarbone. Second one was full body... what do they call it? Whiplash. So it was my back, shoulders, and neck that had whiplash. But I mean, all things considered, whatever. And I drove a motorbike for 15 years, so that's great. My problems are multiple injuries over a lifetime, like my hip, falling off step ladders and roofs and stuff. Didn't help the hip. .78 liters. Interesting. I thought it was 4.6. Gotta love the conversion rates. Just to make everything easy. But this is basically a half-liter monster. So is this. Got one in each hand. Yes. I am not an addict, okay. Do I have any coffee? Oh, coffee. Definitely not an addict. Yeah, I've got a cracked orbital bone here from when I was a kid. Some angles you can actually see it. Yeah, full body shock is definitely not some stupid can. Bit dropped on my jacket. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, Copilot is, from what I understand, one of the better AIs with current technology. No. Seriously? You got 2% to go. But yeah, we're in the battle of the AI at the moment. I mean, when I was a kid, and you read the sci-fi novels, and they were like, oh god, you got your personal AI, and you think, oh my god, that's so cool, I want a personal AI. Now I live in that reality, and I'm like, no, it's fine. It's just gonna steal my information and try sell me something. Little did we know back then that the AI would be advertising to us. So, I'm not going to do anything special. My backup is running, and it's on 98%, so I'm not going to stop it. But, something arrived yesterday. It was awesome. First time I've actually ordered from Alibaba. But, so I ordered this bad boy off Alibaba. It comes pre-built, basically. But the important thing is it's got spaces for 6 hard drives. So this is going to be my new backup system, which will definitely happen a lot faster than the old backup system. What's cool is it's all integrated, so I didn't have to build anything. However, I did have to spend an immense amount of money on hard drives. But it shall be worth it. I will have 90 terabytes of backup space and capabilities. I love the fact that we're having a conversation about conversion metrics. Sorry, bad. Conversion values. Metrics, bad word, I know. Some Americans might need to sit down after hearing that word. Hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize me for saying that. I'm sorry, YouTube. I really didn't mean it. I meant measurements, not metric. It's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. Yeah, so there's a big difference between, I don't know about the current one, but Copilot is linked to the internet, whereas ChatGPT is not. And then the current internet. ChatGPT, for a long time, was working off of data that was 2 years old. So it was kind of always out of date, and then just made stuff up, whereas Copilot does use references. Is the difference, as far as I understand it. Well, this video saves in a lossless format, so I'm generating about 3 to 5 gigs worth of stuff every day. Well, freedom units is diametrically opposed to metric, as far as I understand. But yes, the 90 terabytes should last us a good long while. And that'll be RAID 5. So we got redundancies and stuff. Fair enough. Fair enough. Go freedom units. Yay. Look, I say that, but like my dad, he can convert all of the stuff in his head because when he grew up, South Africa was moving from imperial, UK imperial, to metric. So he had to learn all the conversions in his head. Whereas I'm like, about 2? Okay. I did actually know that, Captain No Name. I did know that. George Washington, I think it was. Not George Washington. Thank you for the follow, Talsnick. Telesnick. And the subscription. It is very much appreciated. Telesnick. There we go. Thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. It wasn't George Washington. It was... Gone. The inventor. Whatever his name was. Washington? George Washington. I can't remember what his name was. I apologize to my American viewers. But he wanted to move to metric, and the only way to do it was to get a set of scientific weights. And he asked France for them, and they said sure. And they sent them, and the ship got raided by pirates before it reached America. If it had reached America, America would be metric. But it didn't reach America, so America is in freedom units. Piracy caused freedom units. There you go. The more you know. I was replying to somebody. Why do I always capitalize surgery? Thomas Edison. There we go. One of them. I can't remember. I just remember the story. Alrighty. Random response to a random email. He's having fun, I think. Spending time with my brother's child. So he's over there with my brother at the moment. And spending time with his grandchild, which is cool. He's working on his van. keeping out of mischief. But he is looking forward to moving to Portugal, so that's good. What are we doing here? Good morning, Darkmar. I hope you're doing well. You do. Jean Donald, good morning. Very good morning. A very early morning for you. Don't think you're supposed to post that, James. Oh, the time, right. That looks like an address. Anyway, I'm still waiting for this backup to start or finish. Right. Well, it's the same reason why we don't switch to Dvorak keyboards. QWERTY was designed to slow people down for typewriters. Dvorak is a much quicker keyboard, but it costs too much money to train people on the new keyboards, and then also too much money to produce the new keyboards. So that's an interesting thing. Thank you for the follow, Ripperino in Pepperoni. Pepperino, yeah. Ripperino in Pepperino 1. Thank you very much for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, definitely. Inertia is always a B word. It is a bastard. Okay, pause. Can we pause? Stupid little computer. YouTube is not liking my bitrate, but I think it's because of the backup. But I don't want to stop the backup. It's at 98%. As far as I know, it was the king's foot which made the feet for the feet. But that could just be bullcrap. You know, one of those little factoids that people say and it's actually completely wrong. Okay, stop. Yes, I'm sure I want to stop the backup. Okay, you're not supposed to be backing up at this time anyway. Good morning, Brian Wells. I hope you are doing well this morning. Fantastic, even. Ooh. Stories. No, it's always good when night shift's calm. Actually, it's always good when any shift is calm. Busy determining if the story is part of a series. I have no idea. Author specifically says it's a one-shot based in a universe, so to me that means it is a one-shot. Okay. Right here. Streaming mode number 2. Splamo. Alright, just moving stuff around so that we can start some work. Oop. Oop-de-doop. Harrick Van. Harrick Van. Alrighty. We have the beginnings of a story. And we have a good title. And what are we doing? One and that. Suspected spam. Go away. Stop phoning me, spam. You're supposed to be a food, nothing more. Yeah, that's fair, Captain No Name. That's why I prefer if an author tells me it's part of a series. I mean, I also don't mind doing stuff that's in the same universe, and you do a one-shot that is self-explanatory. I don't mind that. But when you have to read other things to make sense of this thing, then it's a series. Yes, they're trying to sell me some canned meat. Some canned pork product. With an asterisk at the end. May contain other meats. Right. We got stuff, things. Alrighty. Anybody who's new here? Same dance as yesterday, but if you're new, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign voices to the story and then narrate the story. I have a list of voices, which should be in the description of both Twitch and YouTube. And then I will be assigning to the voices in the story. The voices in the list in the description are not my names for them. That is chat's names for these voices. My names are worse. Fair enough, Brian. Fair enough. Alrighty. Have no idea. Let's go with M10 on this one. M1. This one we'll do M13. F1. M10. F1. Excuse me. M1. M1. M10. M10. F1. Doop, doop, doop. M1. M10. M1. 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 I don't know why there's a symbol here. We'll try something new today. Maybe. M3. 4? 4. There's a new voice. We'll try it. Grand Force Osiris. I think something like that. Very excited about a little bit of a Scottish, not Scottish, Irish. Hi, yes, just higher pitched. Grand Force Osiris. Something like that. M1. M1. F3, 4, 4, yep. Yes, that is quite funny. Spam comments are spamming the channel. M10. F4. F4. M1. There, who's talking? M10. F4. M1. This is another long story. It's like 25 minutes, 28 minutes, somewhere around there. All the stories this week will be long. M10. F4. F4. M10. F4. M1. 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 Noticing a pattern here? My pattern recognition is working overdrive. Yeah, but I mean, these long reads have been waiting to be done for quite a while. And I just keep pushing it off. So, now's the time. F4, M4. Don't know why I put a dash in the female voice, but whatever. Cockney, Scottish, normal, good morning, Postmatic. Not a problem. I hope you feel better soon. I don't know, M5. M10. It's going to be one of those stories where we're going to use most of the voices. Fun and games. This is F4. M1. 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 Oh. M1. 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 I'm liking the M1s. With all the different voices. Previously, this give... Yeah, it's definitely going to be a decent one. Although we did a story last week that did like 10 voices, 15 voices. Was quite ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous, I suppose. But it's just, you know, it's a 10-minute story. Why are there 20 people talking? Who's talking? I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is F1. Daniel, it's monetized through adverts. That pays for the server. I mean, you can also do super chats and stuff. It's got all the normal stream things, but it is monetized through adverts. I run it off of a Google Cloud server because I don't have reliable internet or electricity. And it's been going for 304 days. New record. You never know, the Phoenix Ball. You never know. But you do need to post it in a place that I'm looking, if you want me to read it. Fair enough. Yeah, very much. Everybody has the same voice, okay? There we go. That solves all problems. All 20 people sound similar. Just do it in batches. Well, I mean, in a series, you eventually get up to like 30, 40 voices easy. A lot of the series. That's why I use more like a situational voice. So like whoever's the protagonist in any particular scene gets a protagonist voice, and whoever's the antagonist in any specific scene gets the antagonist voice. This is M13, I think. M10. M10. Excuse me. There's also practice. I do this as a living. I've had over 10,000 hours of narrating, so you're bound to at least learn something in time. Most people don't have the 10,000 hours to spare for honing the skill of narrating. And 13. M1. M10. Not really, to be quite honest. It's either Royal Road or the HFY subreddit. This is where I get almost all my stories from. But, I mean, most of the authors I've spoken to, I've asked specifically for permission on the HFY subreddit. M10. M10. I also haven't found any other place that has nice, one, is decent to navigate, and two, specializes in one-shots. So, I know humans are Space Hawks. Whatever it is. Humans are orcs, space orcs, something like that. That subreddit, it's quite quiet recently. So, I think a lot of the subreddits are suffering at the moment. 13. But hopefully, once I get the website up and running, things will be a bit easier. Excuse me. Alrighty. We'll finish the story. We can read it now. Teleprompter. Teleprompter. Copy. Paste. Minimize. And we're almost ready. Down and down. No, I don't know. To be quite honest. I know a lot of authors left because of the way they handle copyrighted or rights management. Technically, if you post on Reddit, Reddit owns your stuff, which is not great. So I think that's partly due to it. And I think like all genres, everything goes through booms and busts. So I think it's just a slow period at this point. A lot of HFY, I've noticed, is leaning towards series now, whereas like 3 or 4 years ago it was mostly one-shots. One-shots bring in new people. Series keep people that are interested. So the views on a series will be a lot less than on a one-shot. Yes, I won't. Well, I'll try not to. This is as far as I understand. You're going to have to speak to somebody who's more integral into the writing and posting on Reddit. But, no, I'm not on Kick currently. Busy thinking whether I should be or not, but this is a sort of question about not necessarily would it be profitable, but am I okay with the platform? Ignoring that it's based off of gambling, the culture, the Twitch Kick culture is very, very, I don't know, dodgy. It's where you go, where you're banned off everything else. I am on Rumble, but I don't stream to Rumble. I should, maybe? Oh, Rumble doesn't have a built-in thing for restream. So I'd have to specifically change a lot of settings to try to get it to Rumble. I used to stream to DLive, I don't anymore. The problem is most platforms don't pay a lot of money, and they're very niche. So I'm on the, what am I on? I'm on Restream.io, I pay a premium, and I can stream to 5 different platforms. Rumble isn't one of them because of the API. So I stream to Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I might go to Kick, but I don't know how much my audience actually uses Kick. So there's that. Rumble, yeah, there's a weird thing with OBS, Restream, and Rumble. It's apparently quite a ball ache to sort out. I mean, DLive is cryptocurrency. They only pay out in crypto, unless they've changed it. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Kick at least pays out in money. Yeah, so I mean, it being based on gambling, whereas Twitch is based off of boobies, it is what it is. I think my audience is old enough to be able to make their own decisions about gambling. I don't have a child audience. So I'm not as prone to worrying about the gambling aspect of Kick. I like both, but it depends on which Star Wars and which Star Trek. I enjoyed the original stuff. Right. Alrighty. Onto the story. Yeah, Stargate was also pretty cool. Anyways, so for those that have not experienced this is the recording setup. You say, oh, there's a green screen. My editing software removes the green screen far better than OBS. So when I record the green screen. However, OBS doesn't allow me to record and stream 2 different scenes at the same time, so we all get to enjoy the green screen. Fair enough, Anthony, but I think adults should be left to make their own mistakes. I'm not anybody's moral arbiter. If my audience is 25 plus, so make up your own mind. I'm not an emotional. I'm not a moral arbiter. You're gonna make decisions for your own life. But if there were children involved, it would be slightly different. But seeing as my audience isn't children, I wouldn't have as much of a problem. Anyways, on to the story. I'm recording audio, I'm recording video, I'm taking my glasses off. And away we go. Greetings, ladies and metalgents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Controlling Humans is Dangerous, written by Eric Ban. Yes, that's right. Once my editor / wife / editor gets this, she'll edit in the background, the scrolling text, all of that stuff. Seraphim 425. This is... Oh, that's the wrong voice. I'm recording... Whoops. I made a mistake. Let's try this again. Greetings, ladies and metalgents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Controlling Humans is Dangerous, written by Eric Ban. Seraphim 432. This is Red Nova. I adjusted my vision as the screen in front of me fizzled static, trying to maintain my connection. We've just crossed into neutral space, awaiting orders on how to proceed now. Awaiting orders from how to proceed from here. The voice of a great powerful being sounded directly in my ears, both ancient and imposing. You are to proceed directly ahead. Until you have reached the system, you will encounter a nebula field in approximate... The voice quickly retracted from my head and assumed... The voice quickly retracted from my head. I assumed he meant to say approximately now, seeing as every attempt to contact my handler thereafter fell on completely deaf ears. Telltale signs of an approaching nebula, if ever there was any. What are our instructions? The freezing captain ahead of me asked, reclining in a seat. Most of the ship's crew were Frisians, who were red-skinned, tall and wide, boasting 4 arms and 1 large, artificially enhanced orange eye. Their physical strength was only matched by the technological prowess. Continue straight ahead. Nebula's gonna stretch for a good bit, but I didn't get how long. My guess they don't want us taking any detours. Understood. My system auto-translated her short, barked response. The captain regarded me with nothing shy of disdain, and it had been the same way ever since I'd first boarded this vessel. I understood it somewhat. She didn't enjoy taking her orders from an only primitive human on board the ship, just as little as she enjoyed the fact that I was the only one on board that... Just as little as she enjoyed the fact that I was the only one on board that the godlike entities known as the Seraphim would even deign to speak to, let alone give her full instructions towards. I'm gonna go get some food, if that's okay. I closed my system menu, which was buzzing with increasing levels of static. I got up to leave the command room, walking past buzzing red and blue consoles and at least 15 officers. Do you want anything from the mess hall? Stop polluting my ears and leave, the captain snapped back at me. It was enough to jar me speechless for a moment, but also enough to make every other lieutenant and officer in sight stand alert. The room's atmosphere rapidly grew both thick and tense. For a moment, everyone looked as if they were afraid to move. An errant fly stopped buzzing, scared to anger the still air. Then I snickered at her. All right, I'll get out of your hair. See ya. I wasn't blind to it. I noticed a collective sigh of relief when I opened the blast doors behind me and departed. The sigh of the flippant captain included, who I now realized doesn't have hair. Wandering around the spacious flesh-hewn ship corridors was at least somewhere in... Wandering around the spacious Flesian ship corridors was at least somewhere on the way to calming. It often let me order my thoughts a little. I flexed the gauntlet of my armor, feeling an itch forming beneath. Grand Divorce are serious. Both clarity and thought and potential peace of mind were ground into fecking dust as Prishta approached me, waving both left hands at the same time in greeting, a large toothy smile on her face. Well, Flesians didn't exactly smile, but Prishta was definitely trying, even if the result looked more pained than joyous. I looked up at the young private, who was about 3 feet taller than me. She walked a single step for every 3 I took. I heard we're going to make it halfway to System 349B now. Is that true? Oh, I'm sure whoever told you that is better at reading space charts than I am. Basically true for Flesians aboard the ship. I was both new at it and atrocious. Awesome! She slammed the ground as she walked, easily more than double my weight, but armed with an impressively muscular physique, like nearly all of her kind. I hope 349B is interesting. 1307D was a drag. I barely got to do anything there, and the air was really thin. She was easily the most inquisitive and energetic alien I'd ever met, and she kept buzzing around me like a bulldozer. I rolled my eyes at her display. D-class planets typically aren't that interesting, from what I've heard. Little sapient life and low ambient matter levels equal not much to do besides the job. And seeing as you're usually the only one doing the job, that means there's basically crap else for us to do. It sucks, man. It was true. As an enforcer, aka Grand Enforcer, but I wasn't a fan of that title in training. I was meant to rely on as little on the surrounding crew as possible to carry out an on-planet duties, and 1307-D had actually been one of the simplest issues that I'd faced yet. It was my first mission working with the Flesians, and had taken a few months to arrive at what was essentially a crater, and had taken months to arrive at what was essentially a crater of rare and valuable metals in a highly primitive world and dispose of the commodities in question. After all, the angels didn't want the evolutionary trajectory of the planet's inhabitants being affected so greatly. They were to be kept in the dark. I'm sure that we can find you something to do on 349B. It's a lot more civilized, I'm sure. Hardly civilized, Prishta laughed. A deep, tremulous sound that blended in with the general chaos of the ship as they neared the mass area. Anything B or lower is typically basic and naive. I imagine the inhabitants of such a planet would struggle to even conceptualize the Flesian's life as I explained it to them. I think that you've forgotten which class Earth is in. I laughed at her brazen attitude, too used to it to be offended. If any one of the Flesians was well-meaning despite their words, it was this one. I haven't, but you cannot be a typical B-class Earthling. You're chosen by the literal archangel to serve, after all. Prishta cocked her head, looking down at the apparent oddity that was me. I do wonder why the humans are so often chosen as apostles. Despite being so often found on lower-class planets. It's been millennia since the first enforcers were chosen, and Earthlings still make up almost half the selectees. That's not a coincidence. I wondered about that as much, answering her with a big shrug. The Frisians aboard the ship were from an A-class planet, capable of such feats of technology and magic that they could prevent and treat many diseases that we couldn't even detect on Earth yet. And not only had they already discovered warp speeds faster than light, but they'd practically solved the aging process of their own species, reducing it to less than 1/10 of its usual rate. Not to mention that they were about 10 times as physically strong as a human. Without my Enforcer's uniform, I'd barely be able to shake one's hand without being crushed in the process. Then, compared to all of that, there was me, a failed air traffic controller, unable to keep up with the hustle and routine of long hours without making an error that had cost millions in drone collisions. I'd been disgraced on Earth that day, lost my job instantly, and had no benefits or securities to fall back on, and was quickly burning through my savings. Was considering taking out more student loans at 28 and restarting my career in something completely new when I was suddenly approached by the angels. And by approached, I mean abducted. I thought the literal Christian God had beamed me up at first. I thought God was going to judge me for how much of a loser I was losing my job. I thought God was going to judge me for how much of a loser I was losing my job how I did. But instead, I found that not only were these not the angels I knew from books and looked about as human in origin as I did, but they didn't judge or ridicule me whatsoever. Instead, I was made privy to information no human on Earth seemed to know, truths about the wider galaxy and those beyond, about other worlds, about magic, and technology beyond the wildest dreams of anyone I'd met back home. I glimpsed at the advent of infinity, and I was given a choice. Stay ignorant and go back, or serve as a soldier for the benevolent guides of the universe, who choose to reveal themselves only to the seldom few. To this day, I had no clue why they picked me. I only hoped that I'd prove to be worth it in the end. I was greeted with waves and salutes as soon as I made my way into the mess hall. Technically, I didn't carry a rank, but besides Prishta, who I'd spent most of my time with, almost every Felsian seemed to carry some measure of either fear or respect for me, while often the two intermingled. "Grand Enforcer," an ensign said as he vacated his seat, clearing the space for me. I had to rely on Prishta's to help me get up onto the bench quickly, as it was almost 5 feet in the air, but luckily no one had the gall to stare. I didn't really know how I felt about being feared, especially by massive one-eyed space aliens with the power to crush ancient oaks between their thighs. As I sat down, conversation resumed its natural flow around me. "Capacitors cores emitting eddies again. Turbulence is going to at least be our problems. Turbulence is gonna be the least of our problems if we don't smooth the matrix. 15 minutes in the nebula is enough to exacerbate the existing micro tears if they become untenable. If they become untenable, we're just gonna end up behind again. You'd have rather gone around, huh?" That was 2 of the kitchen staff to my left, sat there munching and chatting on their break. The fact that I barely even follow the casual conversations of the kitchen workers aboard this vessel just made me feel even more out of place. "Hey." "Hey, Sirius, you want a..." "Hey, Cyrus, what do you want? Grilled cheese?" "Yeah." "Yeah, if you don't mind." "What?" "Yeah." I think it's the female, actually. "Hey, Sirius, what do you want? A grilled cheese?" "Yeah, if you don't mind. What are you gonna have?" Prishta shrugged. "Nah, I'll just get something synthesized. Close my eyes and press the random button." Prishta made me feel like I fit in. She got up and left, knowing that it was more hassle than I liked to get up and down from one of these benches too many times. I caught smiles as I waited. Occasionally someone would strike me up in conversation. I liked it here. I could definitely feel out of place fairly often, but ultimately, most of the Frisians made an effort, even if some, like the captain, would rather see the back of me. It wasn't just fear that made this partnership work. It was the ethic of the crew. I watched Prishta bounding back over to me, smiling with manic rows of teeth as she clutched at a massive grilled cheese sandwich the size of my head for me, and a large slab of meat for herself in the arm beneath. I watched, and I smiled back at her. Then a massive chunk of debris smashed into Prishta's side and sent her crashing into the far wall and Then a massive chunk of debris smashed into Prishta's side and sent her crashing into the far wall as the ceiling exploded. My grilled cheese hit the floor just as limply as Prishta did. My grilled cheese hit the floor just as limply as Prishta did, and with the exact same velocity, my happiness vanished. Taking off, I engaged the thrusters around my ankles and soared across the now weightless room towards Prishta's fallen body as artificial gravity began to ensue around me, though only then did 30 new aliens drop down right in front of me, ready and eager to feck me up. A quick scan of my system informed me that said aliens were called the Kraz, a species from outside the Federation known for their numerous population and ability to create sapient technology that they could link their spirits to. Before I could hear the next part of the message, I was forced to duck as a stream of blasters beamed straight in my direction. Engaging my suit's combat stance and preparing a spell, I blasted a furnace of heat directly into the maelstrom of combatants still dropping right in front of me, singeing and burning up as many of them as more Frisians took up a fight around me, physically overpowering the foes, though it was soon clear that we were hopelessly outnumbered. I dodged 3 blasts, and my suit absorbed 2 more before I dodged 3 blasts, and my suit absorbed 2 more before I activated my astral blade and used it to tear through 3 more Kraz in the line. Bisecting all of them, it had taken me time to become this strong, years of training on foreign worlds, of missions, and while I wasn't sure if all of that fighting had been for the best reasons, if any of what I did was, I knew that right now my strength was important for keeping my crew alive, for keeping Prishta alive, if she even still was. 5 aliens dogpiled me at the same time, these ones outfitted with sparked gloves and melee weapons, and I had to filter a decent portion of my mana into the armor in order to absorb the blows and repel all 5 of them. I took to the air, souls of my suit burning jet blue flame as I looked to survey the situation. I couldn't unleash anything too heavy here, even if I was careful to not hit any vital on the ship. Even if I was careful not to hit anything vital on the ship, the prospect of collateral damage was too high, and there was no telling if any of these now hundreds of Kraz carried high ordnance explosives. Still, each Frisian was worth about 10 Kraz from what I could see from the fighting, and there were at least 1,000 Frisians on the ship. The problem was, the tide of Kraz seemed to be near unending, and if I couldn't find a means to stem the tide... "London Foster, where are you going?" I ignored it. I needed to ignore it if I wanted them to live. The Frisians were so much smarter than me. If I had time to explain the extent of my abilities to them, I'm sure that they could have figured me out a better plan than I could have ever come up with. But time was not our ally. I flew through the open fracture, my helmet auto-equipping as I did so. Nebulous space was damaging to most systems, but my suit could handle a short exposure. If I could find a way to seal the damage and stem the invasion until we were out of the nebula field, then we could make a new warp jump. It was the only way. Synthesizing a hermetic seal was difficult enough on the fly, but when there was 50 aliens attacking you at once, it was that much harder. Frisians followed me, assuming that I'd need assistance, distracting and picking off some of my attackers, giving me the time to seal up the damage to the hull that connected the exterior to the mess hall. That was 1 hole down, but 5 more had popped up in the time that I'd done even that much. The boarding party was unrelenting. Thousands of cars could be seen floating between here and the mothership. Thousands of cars could be seen floating between here and their mothership, an absolutely gargantuan vessel that seemed to move and shift like a living creature might. A testament to the power of these aliens, a crude-looking monstrosity that was in reality more intricate than anything I'd ever seen. If the Kras were in the Federation, I was sure that they'd be S-class. I wasn't long until I spotted something more beyond, something flying at the edge of the nebula, something strange, long, and made of shimmering silver scales. I pulled my system up to confirm what I was seeing, trying to focus on it, but to no avail. The system didn't have a protocol in place for identifying the specific creature. The only reason I'd even an inkling of what it was is that I'd been briefed by the archangels themselves on such entities. Specifically, I'd been told to avoid them. I considered my options for only a moment: stay and defend the doomed vessel, attack tens of thousands of Kras alone, or fly straight at the thing that I'm not meant to. I took off without hesitation. The Flesians behind me might have been confused, but they were nothing. The Flesians behind me might have been confused, but there was nothing that I could do but go. If I was correct, and I wasn't sure how I could be wrong, then what I was staring at before me was a wish dragon, one of the handful of cosmic dragons that roamed the universe by their own mysterious whims. These dragons were also right at the top of the Angels' Do Not Engage list, and while I wasn't really summoned to question orders or break protocol, I figured that I had good enough basis right now to need a fucking wish dragon. Hang on, Prishta. It's all I could think of as I launched my way. Hang on, Prishta. It's all I could think of as I launched my way through countless Kras, a silver bullet gleaming red as more and more of them collided with my armor. Still, they attempted to stop me, entirely undeterred by the bloody death of their comrades. They were beginning to gain foothold in our fight before I'd taken off. They were beginning to gain a foothold in our fight before I'd taken off. But now, even if they had an idea of how to neutralize me, they wouldn't be able to accelerate at my rate, to catch up in time to halt me before I could approach the great and terrifying beast flying in transit before me. The Kras ship seemed to notice the dragon right after I did, as it similarly changed course, flying straight towards it. Like me, it was also in the nebula, where it had laid in wait, so its speed was also impacted, and the massive ship and I were in deadlock as we approached the impossibly long creature. The ship taking occasional pot shots at me while I spun evasive maneuvers, aware that a single shot from a vessel would likely be enough to pierce even this incredible suit, which is surely S-class in design. Not many things could kill me in one shot like a full-on proton blast, but then I was also a tiny target, and as I began to overtake the vessel, they stopped attempting to shoot me and put all of their remaining effort into catching up to the creature before me. They were clearly aware of what I was trying to do, and their reaction only confirmed my suspicion that my strong hunch had been correct. All I needed was to make a wish.
You have approached without permission. State your purpose, and I will judge your conviction.
The voice was in my head, and so powerful that it felt it might split not only my mind, but body directly in two. I was frozen, perhaps 3 miles away from the great pristine white beast, and the massive Kras vessel was similarly suspended. Wriggling in hopes of release. I knew what I wanted. I'd always wanted this. I had no doubts. I cleared my throat.
I want you to save me and my crew from this nebula. Get us away from these aliens and save us.
For a long time, almost too long, the dragon was silent. Neither I nor the enemy vessel moved. A part of me hoped that this had at least provided enough distraction for my ship to escape, regardless of the outcome.
The Kras Warband has more faith in its wish. That wish is simple: the termination of every Republic life aboard your vessel, and the acquisition of your technology. They have not dithered as you have, and so I will grant.
Of course, I was one person, The Cross Warband. The Cross Warbird held the combined desires and wants of every cross aboard, linked through their sapient tech. Meanwhile, I was plagued with doubts, with worries about my people, about my old life and my new one, about the purpose of these things I did not. About the purpose of things I did, and the issues with my missions, about where I fit in the universe, about my bravery, my pride, my... No! I shouted through the voice that tore my mind and scathed my spirit. I shouted a word until my throat was raw. Then, in a feat of movement I could scarcely register, the dragon turned its impossibly large body to face me directly.
You would interrupt me, those who call gods cower. You would interrupt me. Those who call gods cower before me. Those who call gods cower before me and dare not speak my name, and you would choose to...
I tried beyond anything to force out my next words. It was almost impossible. The sheer pressure of the wish dragon's voice on my mind was so much to bear that I could feel my internal system shutting down. That all cognizant thought was forced from my mind by the primordial presence filling it, that it would be easier to drift in empty space and fade.
Just me!
I forced the words from my throat like molten lava. I knew what I was willing to do, no matter how much it hurt, no matter where it took me or how it happened. I knew. The dragon regarded me like I was a strange animal it had encountered. It snorted, the nebula pushed away like a plastic bag from a single flare of its nostrils. It considered me, considered my plea, considered my worth. Eventually, the behemoth nodded.
Fine, just you then.
Before I could open my mouth to respond, I felt the transponder lock on me and beam me back onto my ship. The nebula was lifted. The crawls had been locked in place long enough for our hyperdrive to engage. We were pushed back into space in mere instant, so far from where we'd been only moments ago that it felt as if it could have been a daydream. I saw Prishta amongst the wounded. She was alive, still, at least. I could feel myself beginning to fade already. It was a pact that I had made with the dragon, the only thing that I could think to offer that would show my dedication eclipsed by the Kraz. My body, my spirit, everything I had to give for a crew that had welcomed me. Better than any questionable mission I'd served or proposed. Better than any questionable mission I'd served or proposed. Better than any questionable mission I'd served or purpose I'd pondered or heroic life I'd been promised. This was a true heroic act. I could find peace in that. I removed my armor. It was heavy. It laid on the floor of the mess hall, tuning out the sounds. I laid on the floor of the mess hall, tuning out the sounds of the concerned Frisians around me. I felt my soul leave my body, and held faith that it would find its way to where it needed to be, and held faith that it would find its way where it needed to go. I felt warmth. I felt peace. Humans are not chosen because they are the strongest, nor because they're the most righteous, or the smartest, or the wisest, or anything, or any such thing. Humans are chosen because they are irreverent, because they defy the natural order of things, because even in the face of harsh and crushing reality, if a human believes they can change that reality, they'll go to incredible lengths for even the smallest chance to do so. Humans should be kept in the dark. Their civilization should not be permitted, under any circumstances, to advance too far. Only a certain number of human agents should be selected and employed by handlers at any one given time. Always remember, attempting to control humans is dangerous. End of story. Alrighty. Good morning to all the people who popped in while I was reading. I hope you're all having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it may be. Good night, Joe. I hope you sleep well. Have fantastic dreams. Card thrower, thank you for the kind words. We're getting there. We are. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. It should still be a month or two before we're back to 100% fully, but we'll definitely try our best. It's getting a bit warm. Yes, rip grilled cheese sandwich. Yes. The never-ending story. Fair enough. I never liked that movie when I watched it as a kid. Don't know why, but I just didn't like it. Ooh. Huh. Interesting. Would never have said that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Gene. I really am. But today is a double feature. A twofer. 2 for 1. Just moving our stuff around so that we can, nope, not do that. Do that here. Yes, definitely exponential growth. An Alien Plays Minecraft by Spiffing Brit. Oh, by FarmWitch475. Spiffing Brit Plays. Trying to remember what voice I used for Spiffing the last time. Okay. I think it was nasally, excited nasally voice. M4-1. M4-1. This one should only have 2 voices, so shouldn't be too bad. And gotta exercise those muscles. They're not gonna exercise themselves, unfortunately, no matter how much I ask.
Three 300 billion uses for this. 300 billion.
Something like that.
Nasally
Whiny, I think. This one is a long one. This one's 33 minutes. Roughly. That's true. However, there's not enough space on the screen to do it, so it is listed in the description of YouTube. It should also be listed in the description of Twitch. But I have a sneeze brewing, so I'm gonna pause this. Thankfully, I managed to hit that mute button in time. Thank you. Actually, I think I can just do this one without doing the codes. It's only 2, it's M1 and M4. And the M1 stuff seems to be designated with a star. And M4 stuff is designated with things. Yes, I know. I should know the name of that off the top of my head, but inverted commas. Or quotation marks. Probably quotation marks would be a better one. Sorry, I'm busy reading. Multitasking not the best. Plus, if I say the wrong thing, people will correct me in the chat and engagement shall go up. Yeah, definitely. Add a little bit more than a bone, and definitely more than time to time.
It'll eat your soul in seconds.
Oh, that's M4. It's M1. Seriously? Seriously. Fingers, do the job. Stop complaining. Pay attention. We're just having a staff meeting quickly. I mean, I'd hate to let them go, but if they're not doing their job, you know, it's the axe. I suppose I can have it sort of scrolling over here. Maybe. I don't know. M4. Fair enough. It's always good to... what is it? Those with an organized desk never know the thrill of enjoyment of finding something you thought you lost. A friend of mine used to love that saying. Wasn't me sneezing this time, I swear. I'm not a ventriloquist. Yeah, it's definitely the dog. It's hiding around just somewhere, just ninja sneezing. Which is, you know, honestly not the worst thing it could do. I heard that it's quite buggy on computer at the moment. There's a very bad port or something. Fair enough. I don't own a console though. Although I've been playing RimWorld over the last couple of days. Fair enough. No, not really, Captain No Name. The only way to do it is if it's low enough or soft enough. You can do a noise floor removal, but it does affect your voice. Where you would have a sort of cutting sound, so where it sounds like the ends of words being cut off, that means there's a hard cap on the noise removal. But if it's loud enough, you can't really remove it. I mean, in theory, you could also over. What would you call it? If you tried to remove it and put too many processors on it and filters and stuff, it sounds very robotic and or distorted. So you just probably want to avoid it altogether, or repeat whatever you just said. Yeah. I mean, over-processing is its own problem. That's why I try not to process my audio too much. Excuse me.
soar with pickaxes and heavy hearts. We're the miners of the cosmic shore. On this barren land, we march as one, unearthing treasures under the sun. In the cratered plains where no one dreamt, we're the pioneers on
That depends on the microphone. But 50 hertz is quite low. And normally you work on dB rather than hertz, which is, I think, it's a 25 dB, 60, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I actually actively paid attention to my settings. It's kind of one of those things, once you get it right, you just leave it. Don't touch it again. Alrighty. QP. Paste. Thankfully, this story shouldn't be too bad of my voice, although Spifflemonks is a bit of a energetic voice, shall we say. Excuse me. Don't know why my throat's so dry today. Alrighty. Recording mode. Recording. Stuff and things are happening. Right, so gonna focus on recording. I shall be back shortly. So, interesting thing. Microphones are built in that they create a hum. It's not an electrical hum, it's called a noise floor. They do this because no sound is unnatural. So if you remove sound completely, it is unnatural because you're always listening to background music, background sounds in your head. So you'll notice zero audio, completely dead audio, more than you will a little buzz. That's why all microphones have a noise floor. It'll give this ear something to pick up on, and you don't notice it as much as zero sound. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. Gene, this is AI-generated music. The last 4 songs have all been AI music. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called An Alien Plays Minecraft, written by FarmWitch4275. Even in my recording room, you notice it. The sounds bounce off the walls less, and it feels weird when you walk into the recording room. Oh, look. Bots. Hello, bots. Goodbye, bots. Alright, back to work.
Greetings and glorious victory. My name is Spiffing and welcome to my Let's Play. Today we shall be playing a game called Minecraft. The reason why is because a subscriber of mine, a user by the name of Grey Still Plays, apparently, purchased it for me completely out of the blue. The message he gave me was rather specific too.
Spiffle shows the Minecraft launcher open up and takes a look at the game. The new features added to the launcher is a number on the bottom left of the screen is an active player count, or how many players who are connected online and actively playing the game.
300 billion players?
Spiffle looks at the camera in that familiar, scary way he does when his soul breaks. He stares into the viewer's soul for a few moments and starts to set up his installation.
I was told by the subscriber again, thank you, Mr. Plays, to set up for MC version 21.18. Apparently, this is the update that killed Microsoft. Whatever that is. And a few changes were made that the game was playable again. I wonder what that means. Is there any kind of player metric that I can look at? Meh. Anyways, I've set it up. Let's play.
The loading screen appears, the main menu loads, and Spiffle's expression changes to one of genuine shock as he takes in the game's graphics, which have never changed since the days of MC 1.18.
There's 300 billion users for this. 300 billion?
Spiffle appears as though he is having an aneurysm of some kind as his face squishes itself into a strange, discordant expression of utter disbelief. He comically falls out of his chair and lets out a frustrated scream of terror on the floor. The screen flashes like a movie scene, and he appears on his chair once again. Spiffle's editing skills are definitely getting better.
Well, let's do this then. If that many people are playing this, then let's get into it. I have read the description and watched some tutorials. This is a block building game where you dig at blocks and then pick them up. Then put them where you want them to create a structure. Apparently any structure imaginable, and I do mean any. There we go.
The game finishes loading itself up, and Spiffle appears in the middle of a forest, surrounded by oak and birch trees. He looks around and gets used to the controls. Like any player starting out, he moves around, runs, jumps, looks at the things around him, smacks some grass and finds a tree.
Break blocks by punching them. Okay, let's get some wood, I guess.
Spiffle takes a while to figure out how it works, but gets a block of wood from a birch tree. He opens his inventory and does every Minecraft player's first thing, a crafting table. He takes it, places it, then looks at where it was. He takes it, places it, then looks at what there is to make. After a bit of fumbling, he gathers 10 more logs, converts some into sticks, and looks around.
Hoe, sword, axe, shovel, pickaxe. Pretty basic stuff. I hope there's better materials for this than wood, and also than just a sword. A cliff.
Spiffle approaches a nearby mountain, covered in stone. He looks at his character and then looks at the rock wall, then looks into his camera, then at his pickaxe.
Oh, come on! It cannot possibly be that simple. Pick up resources, make things out of resources, get better resources done. I cannot possibly play that simple. It cannot possibly be that simple.
Spiffle uses his pick to collect some cobblestone. Spiffle uses his pick to collect some cobblestone. Spiffle uses his picks to Spiffle uses his pick to collect some cobblestone blocks and moves back to his crafting table. He lets out an exasperated sigh and sad chuckle as he realizes it is in fact that simple. He discards his previous tools and replaces them with stone, then picks up his crafting table. After this, he begins wandering around for a bit, exploring the world around him. Before long, night falls.
Oh dear, is there a night-day cycle in this game? How long has this been a thing? I have so much work to do after this. I have researched a bit of this game, so many questions. Ow!
Spiffle is hit with an arrow. He panics and charges at the new enemy, a skeleton. He takes several hits with a panic, spams his left click to hit the target. He survives barely, with only 2 hearts, and collects his bounty, just some bone meal and a few arrows.
Arrows? So, there is more than a sword. How lovely! Oh, lovely! I can actually fight now. Where did I go and... damn it!
Spiffle is hit once again, and before he can figure out what was going on, he is killed by a zombie. He hits the respawn button and tries to find where his last was, to no avail. He runs around for a few more minutes. Each mob he encounters nips him or manages a hit, or simply falling from just a bit too high. His health slowly chips away. Eventually, he gets lost. Then gets killed again from a skeleton.
Okay, so obviously, that's simple, but also it isn't. You can get the resources easily, but not so much keep them easily. So, a skeleton thing? Then a kind of humanoid with green skin? That smacks me. I wonder what else is in here.
Spiffle restocks his inventory, and before long he begins to explore his first cave. He encounters new blocks and gets into a fight with Minecraft's most loved and hated anthropod, the spider.
Why does this game have spiders?
Spiffle squeals in hatred as the 8-legged low-pixel creature nips at him. He kills it relatively quickly and continues exploring the cave. He finds some iron ore and digs it up, getting a few clumps of raw iron, followed by some coal. A few more blocks he manages to find a small nook somewhere in the cave, closes it off with spare stone and puts down the furnace. After a bit of fumbling, he acquires some torches, but doesn't put any down.
Okay, it is rather dark, but I suppose I can use these torches as a light source. Probably not important. Is there any way that I can skip the night time, though? I have to loot. I have a lot of work to be coming up in the coming weeks. Lots of reading to do. Bah!
Spiffle is surprised by a sudden appearance of a zombie and barely manages to fend it off, with 3 hearts to spare.
How? How? I sealed off the entrance. How did it get in? Okay, I cannot see a damn thing. How many torches can I make?
Filled with a sense of paranoia, Spiffle places around 20 torches in a small hovel, lighting the place up rather vigorously.
There, it's done. I can see them coming now. Is it morning yet?
Spiffle wanders around his hovel for a time, failing to notice his hunger bar. Too late. He starts to take damage.
What? Why am I dying? Damn it?
Spiffle dies again and respawns just before the sun rises. He barely escapes a few zombies in his area before the sun is fully up. The day starts. All the mobs in the area suddenly burst into flame. The spiders no longer attack, and he can see.
What? Oh, why are things on fire? Oh, wait, the sun kills them. Oh, that's an interesting game mechanic, so they don't like the sun. Good to know. Can I find a cave again? Although I should really take better note of the local area and make pillars or torches. I can use the torches to find my way around. I need coal and sticks.
Spiffle spends the next few minutes collecting sticks and other such things, replenishing his tools for the 3rd time. While digging at some coal, however, he has his first encounter with the game's most notorious mob.
Okay, coal. The blocks made these cute sounds. Okay, coal. The blocks made these cute sounds like playing with bubbles. What's that fizzing noise?
Spiffle turns around and comes face to face with a creeper. He screams in terror and tries to attack. Far too late, and the creeper explodes, killing Spiffle instantly. With no armor and no warning, Spiffle has no chance. He's respawned again.
he respawns again, just as it turns nighttime. What the hell was that? I just saw a flash and then I was dead. Was that some kind of bomb? What even was that? Oh God, I have to do... No, God, I have to do this a fourth time. No. The frustration in Spiffle's voice is fully apparent as he dodges and weaves around the mobs, managing by miracle to return to his previous death spot, recovering his gear, and most is there, except for the shovel and a few bits of iron. Aha! So I don't lose everything, I only lose a bit of it. I can go back to my death spot and recover my gear. That's good to know. I'm fairly certain there's a spawn timer. I think it's the terminology. A short amount of time to recover lost stuff before it disappears. It's very likely this game has that kind of mechanic, so be fast. Noted. Let's see if we can find my old cave hideout. Spiffle continues wandering around until a lucky happenstance he stumbles on his old cave hovel. All of his gear had long since despawned, but there was still iron ore in the furnace that he could use. Oh, lovely! The place I died in. Did I starve to death, or was I attacked by an invisible monster? I hope this game doesn't have those. Oh, lovely! Iron ingots. I can use those, I think. Spiffle recovers 22 iron ingots from his furnace and makes some new gear, a pickaxe, a sword, and a torso armor piece. I have a feeling that I'll be needing these. I know where I am now, so I'll just put these back in here and return another day. I wonder if this is the part where I should start building my base or something. Do I even need a base? I know this game is about building things, but how impractical do I need to be exactly? Spiffle mulls around his hovel for a bit, managing to sneak up onto a cave. Spiffle mulls around his hovel for a bit, managing to sneak out into the cave to gather more coal to make more torches. He waits until the mobs outside start catching fire, then picks a random direction and starts walking. What is that? Spiffle stops in his tracks a bit away from the cave entrance as he spots his first Enderman. Unfortunately, he looks at it for just 1 second too long. The Enderman becomes aggressive and charges. Spiffle, by lucky happenstance, is standing under a tree. That's the right height to stop the Enderman from getting too close. No, don't attack me. Why are you attacking me? It's not nighttime. Why aren't you burning in the sun? What even are you? No, get away. Spiffle manages to get a few close hits to the Enderman with dumb luck. Kills it. It drops 2 ender pearls that Spiffle greedily collects. Ender pearl. Was that thing an ender? What's a pearl exactly? Well, I think I have to figure that out some other time. Just keep it where it is. Now, how do I find food? I have a hoe. What do I do to get food? Trees, maybe? Spiffles wanders aimlessly, breaking his stone hoe on a tree. After replacing it, he tries actually using it on the ground and notices how the grass block changes to farmland. Oh, well, of course you use it on the ground to make farmland, Spiffle. Spiffle slams his head into his desk as punishment for his own incomprehensible stupidity. Because that's how you farm the land. He holds his head in his hands for a bit, groaning from the pain. After a little while, he resumes playing, finding a small lake on the grassland. He uses the hoe to make a few plots, and then starts looking around for seeds. Right, so, presumably the seeds for what I need are here somewhere? Powers of deduction would state that maybe the grass or other kinds of land would hold seeds of some sort of cultivation. Eventually, Spiffle gets some wheat seeds and returns to his farm, noticing the sun going down. Well, I just plant these here and, oh dear, nighttime. Box! I shall build a box myself. Box! I shall build myself a box. Spiffle uses the extra wood and dirt he has to build a simple 2x2 block box and hides in it for the night.
He's extremely cautious, if not outright paranoid, as he stands still in his little box for the night, with one torch on each wall. With one torch on the wall, he only emerges from the box when the mobs start catching fire. Unfortunately, he leaves too soon and ends up set on fire by a zombie.
Damn it, they set me on fire when they are on fire.
Of course they do, Spiffle, you unintelligible... Of course they do, you unintelligible Iridani slip.
Idiot. It's not that complicated, right? I need to build a house, but first...
Spiffle takes the zombie. Spiffle takes the zombie still on fire and sets... Spiffle takes the zombie still on fire through the grass and past a tree.
Aha! So they don't set any wood or grass on fire when they're on fire. Good to know. It's easy to build a house then, and make it out of wood. Now, what kinds of things can I make here?
Spiffle makes a presentable 5x5 box. Spiffle makes a presentable 5x5 block house with dirt floor, a crafting table, and a basic roof. After a lot of silly crafting shenanigans, he figures out how to craft stairs, slabs, and the door for his house.
Right, now, is there any way I can craft something that I can use to change my spawn point? What do I need for that? Recipe book in the crafting table. So I need 3 planks, 3 wool. Where do I get wool? Is that some kind of plant? A wool plant?
Unable to take this anymore, Spiffle just opens up a browser and looks up what wool is. He clicks on a video of a sheep and plays it, not thinking to include the tag Minecraft in his search term. The video is of a sheep after shearing, and it bleats loudly as it trundles about in its pen. Spiffle's skin turns bright pink. He screams in terror and leaves the room in a panic. The video ends, and his outro plays. Top comment: Dude, did you... Dude, you did that upon seeing a sheep. They are the stupidest, calmest, least threatening herbivores on the planet. They're used for food, and the wool is used to make clothes and ugly Christmas sweaters. You cannot tell me that an interstellar empire has people who have ovinophobia. Spiffle's response:
Feck you and feck your sheep.
The camera starts and Spiffle is looking directly at the camera. His expression is one of bewildered hatred, and he grits his teeth.
Is it any fecking wonder humans live in a death world when things like that exist? Why? What kind of hideous drug was evolution on that? Why, what kind of drug was evolution on to make that kind of monstrosity? And you call it a sheep. You cannot call it an unintelligible slur, or a untranslatable slur, or even a untranslatable slur. No, you call it a sheep, damn humans. Spiffle tries to calm himself down and collects his feelings for a moment. Anyways, great days and glorious victory and all that. Welcome back to Minecraft. I have to find a sheep to make a bed now. Spiffle can barely contain himself and visibly shudders with the heebie-jeebies as his game continues where it left off. He starts immediately and looks around for his quarry. Eventually, he comes across a herd around 5 of them. He hesitates and visibly shudders in disgust as he hears the sheep's bleating. Bonsai! Is that how you pronounce it? Bonsai! Yes, bonsai!
Spiffle attacks the sheep wildly, and even though the sheep are highly pixelated boxes, they're close enough that he visibly retches in disgust as he cuts them all down. He gets 1 grey wool and 4 white wool, enough to make a bed. He hurries back to his house and makes a bed as fast as possible. He sets his spawn and resumes wandering around. His farm has grown a bit since he started, and he begins to harvest. Hoe to make farmland, hoe to harvest food. Now presumably, use the wheat to make food of some kind, and the seeds replant them. Wow, it really is that simple. After games like RimWorld and Factorio, I was expecting something so much more complicated. What's the purpose? Okay then, I shall quickly look this up. I'm tired of wandering around in the dark. Spiffle pauses his gameplay momentarily, the screen fading to black. When the screen returns, Spiffle looks as though he's reinvigorated and has purpose.
Right. So first, collect obsidian, build a nether portal. So for this, we need iron so that I can make a bucket. I know just where I can get some from.
Spiffle returns to this cave hovel and collects the remaining iron. He uses the crafting table to make 2 buckets and heads deeper into the cave. A few minutes later, he encounters his first patch of diamonds. With his iron pickaxe, he finds a node of 6 diamond ore blocks and mines them all up.
Okay, what did I just get? Diamonds? What are those for? Oh wait, is that the next tier of material I need to get? I have 11 diamonds. Not much, but at least I can make a better sword and pickaxe. I need those if I remember correctly. I need a bow too, but I wonder how I can make one. Don't worry, people. I didn't memorize the whole entire knowledge base for this game. I deliberately left out a lot so that I can actually play it.
Spiffle continues down into the cave and finds a lava pool. He makes the incredibly poor decision of collecting lava instead of water and returns to his house with 2 buckets of lava.
Right, so I need to make a doorway with this somehow.
Spiffle tries and fails miserably to make a portal, instead simply setting his house on fire. He panics and loses half of his walls to fire, losing both buckets of lava, and creates a cobblestone mess in his front garden.
Well, that went poorly. Looks like lava burns things.
Spiffle steps away from the camera and yells at a very loud Iridani slur at himself, once again for how stupid he is. He returns to his chair and looks at the camera.
It would have been easier and make more sense to just pour a bucket of water or something to cool the lava, then dig out the obsidian, right? Yes, that's what I thought.
Spiffle returns to the cave and stands in front of a lava pool.
I forgot to actually get the bucket of water.
Spiffle gets up, yells another Iridani slur, returns to his chair and finds water. A few minutes later, he pours the bucket of lava. He pours the bucket over the lava pit he found and spends 15 minutes collecting as much obsidian as he can. He amounts to about 30 blocks and he frustratingly heads home. He builds a small portal and can't light it. He doesn't have a flint and steel.
How do I open the door? Is there like a little bell that I have to ring or oh, for the ancient's sake?
Screen goes black. Then moments later he returns.
Okay, I need a flint and steel. I need to find gravel. I think I know where some gravel is. I need my shovel.
Spiffle carries on and finds gravel. After digging several blocks, he gets a flint. Then he uses an iron ingot to make a flint and steel. He lights the portal and enters.
Right, let's see what this place is like. Apparently it's a lot harder than...
Spiffle trails off as he spawns in the middle of a lava chamber, a huge cavern with a massive lava lake nearby.
Lava everywhere. I don't know what to do here. How would I... Oh, crap.
Spiffle can't do much as he is attacked by a ghast. The platform he is on is hit and disintegrates from the explosion. He falls into the lava and dies, losing everything he has on him. He stares dead-eyed at the screen for a few moments.
Why would I do this to myself? I normally work in virtual simulations of markets and mining stocks, simulators that explore virtual markets. How did I get to this?
Spiffle looks at his subscriber count. When he first started playing human games, his channel had barely 6,000 subscribers. After he started playing human games, his channel exploded to nearly 2 million in a short order and keeps growing each time he uploads.
Oh, right.
Spiffle surrenders to money and fame and returns to Minecraft. 2 hours of gameplay passed in short order as Spiffle recovers his gear, hunts some diamonds, dies to a creeper, and has a close call with some skeletons. He acquires a full set of diamond gear and enters the nether. This time, he is well prepared.
Right, full set of diamond gear, armor, weapons, and tools. Gods, this is far too long. Gods, this took far too long. I need to make sure that I don't fall into lava again, because lava destroys everything. I also brought 8 stacks of torches. That should be plenty to mark my way so that I can get back to home. So I apparently looking for something called a bastion.
Spiffle starts his journey towards the bastion, looking for anything useful. He gets some nether gold ore on the way, getting a decent amount before stumbling onto a tunnel carved in the rock. He heads into and finds what he's looking for, the start of the bastion.
Oh, is this it? It looks like it is. And like the rest of this place, whoa, an achievement, a terrible fortress. This is it. Okay, I'm looking for a mob. That's apparently the name of the creatures in this game, mob. Because a blaze. A mob called a blaze. It's like a fire demon or something. Is that it over there? No, that's a skeleton, but it's... Spiffle encounters a wither skeleton. It sees him and immediately attacks. Due to Spiffle's diamond armor, he holds and manages to take the skeleton down. Unfortunately, the mob gets in a few hits, and Spiffle starts to take wither damage. What? Am I poisoned? Why are my little hearts black like that? Oh, no. No! Eat, Spiff, eat! You killed all those cows for a reason! Eat!
Spiffle's cooked beef serves him well and manages to save him with 2 hearts to spare.
Okay, then. Avoid those things, then. What's this? Wither skeleton skull. So that was a wither skeleton? Okay, then. Very dangerous. Avoid. Now, where is this blaze thing?
Spiffle continues to move around, using various blocks to trap enemies out of his reach or escape the occasional mob. Finally, he encounters a blaze spawner. He assembles a small shelter just outside of the spawner and makes sure that his hotbar is... And makes sure his hotbar and the gear is still good.
Right, apparently I need to kill these things and get blaze rods or something. Then use them to make blaze powder. After this, I get to go hunting for those Enderman things. I need at least 11 of them, so, let's get started.
Spiffle starts attacking, but fails several attempts as he is constantly set on fire. He attacks, manages to damage at least 1 blaze, but gets set on fire, and retreats before scoring the killing blow. He waits until he's fully healed and resumes his assault. With a bit of luck, he manages to kill 1 blaze after a bit of faffing about. He gets 2 blaze rods from the kill. He retreats and relaxes for a bit, trying to keep calm.
Okay, this is hard. This is very hard. They set me on fire. They set me on fire, damn it. Well, I got one. Do these mob things regenerate their health? If I stop attacking them, do they heal up to full? God, I hope not. Okay, once again.
Spiffle assaults the spawner once more time. Spiffle assaults the spawner one more time. Spiffle assaults the spawner one more time, and the damage he dealt over the last few minutes stacks up, and he quickly dispatches the remaining 3 blazes he's been fighting. He collects 4 more blaze rods, converts them to powder, and then kills 1 more blaze that surprises him, collecting 2 more rods. He's satisfied and leaves the bastion. After getting lost a few times, he gets back to his trail of torches and makes his way back to the overworld.
Thank the gods, home, for what little it's worth. Now, to hunt the Enderman. How hard can that be?
As it turns out, it's very hard. Spiffle spends the next 4 hours fighting and killing Endermen, often being frustrated at how hard they are to find and how hard they are to fight. He dies twice while doing this, but manages to recover his gear each time. Eventually, he gets the pearls he needs and crafts 14 Ender Eyes. Spiffle, by this point, is looking very much done.
Okay, you know what? I've been playing this for a solid 8 hours now. I need a break. I shall do more another day. Good night, all.
Spiffle outro plays. The video ends. Top comment, oh boy, 8 hours. I wonder what he'll do when he notices the speedrun community. What's the new record now? 20 minutes?
Great days and glorious victory. My name is Spiffmonk, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today I'll be finishing this abomination of a game and never touching it again. But I have research to do when I am done. I have a bow, full gear, and everything else. I now fight the
crap. Spiffle looks into the camera and starts finding the stronghold. He moves around for 2 hours, using Eyes of Ender to track it. He fumbles a bit, failing to actually understand how it works. Eventually, he gives up where the Eyes of Ender keep falling and stumbles into the stronghold.
Oh, well, look at that. Is there... yes, it is. There's an achievement. Okay, then, I have to find the end portal then. Oh, dear. This is going to suck, isn't it? Wait, bed! Yes! I remember one of my subscribers told me to carry a lot of beds. I could put one down and use it to respawn. I know I'm going to get killed at least once. This will simplify things.
Spiffle puts his bed down. Spifflemonk puts a bed down at the stairway to the stronghold and heads inside. After setting his spawn, he wanders around aimlessly for about half an hour, killing mobs, lighting hallways, and getting lost in the winding corridors, before eventually finding the portal room. He destroys the silverfish spawner, kills 3 silverfish, and starts placing the Eyes of Ender in the portal.
Oh dear, well, here we go. Place a bed down to seal the entrance here, put torches everywhere, and done! Set spawn, in we go.
Spiffle enters the portal and spawns outside the Ender Island in the void. He has to build his way to the main island and encounters an ocean of Endermen. He fails to keep his eyes to himself and gets attacked by 3 Endermen straight away.
Why are there so many of them? What the hell? Why, there's so many of them. What the hell?
He fails to hold his own and dies. He respawns, screams several expletives, and returns to the end to recover his gear. He does so and builds a shelter for himself. He spends the next 20 minutes dodging the Ender Dragon's breath. Attacks, vainly trying to thin the Enderman swarm under its little shelter. He gives up shortly after and pauses the game. The screen goes black, then returns after a few seconds.
Okay, so as long as you don't look at them, they won't attack. Good to know. I'm sorry, but there were too many of them. They just kept coming. I had to cheat. I'm sorry.
Spiffle does his species equivalent of "Forgive me, puppy eyes," and resumes the fight. He kills a few more Endermen who attack him, and he uses blocks to climb up the first tower. He starts the process of destroying the crystals and nearly dies to the first one as he's far too close when he hits it. He runs around for a bit, regaining health, using his bow to try and take pot shots at the dragon and the crystals. He scores a few lucky hits and manages to destroy 5 of them. The dragon begins to perch.
Oh, excellent! I can stab him a few times now. Charge!
Spiffle attacks the dragon with fervor, but fumbles. He accidentally scrolls through his hotbar and places a bed down. He clicks the wrong button, and his bed explodes, killing him instantly and severely damaging the dragon. The message, "Spifflemonk was killed by intentional game design," appears in chat feed, and Spiffle sits with his head in his hands for a few moments. He collects himself, charges back at the portal, and recovers his gear. He retreats hastily to the shelter he built earlier and recovers his health.
Okay, apparently beds explode when you use them here. Wait, is that...
Spiffle now notices the Ender Dragon lost a quarter of its health.
Did that explosion cause that damage?
A creepy, sadistic smile creeps across Spiffle's face as he recognizes his hotbar and returns to the fight. A creepy, sadistic smile creeps across Spiffle's face as he reorganizes his hotbar and returns to the fight. He manages to make the dragon perch again. He uses a few pieces of obsidian as a shield and places a bed down. He clicks, it explodes. He puts down another. He clicks, it explodes. He does this 2 more times and the dragon dies. Spiffle can't help but jump out of his seat in excitement. Yes! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Yes! I'm finally done! Finally! Spiffle sits back down, hopes into the portal, and the credits roll. He tabs out of the game and starts to do some research. His smile quickly fades as the full extent of the community's attachment to the game and the sheer absurdity of skill becomes apparent. Speedrunners beating the game in less than 20 minutes. perfect one-to-one recreations of entire cities and Earth, players working together to create entire civilizations on private servers, worlds where players should have survived without dying once for up to 15 years. Spiffle. Worlds where players have survived without dying once for up to 15 years. Spiffle cradles his head in his hands, and his outro plays. He sobs out the phrase,
Crazy fucking humans.
The top comment, yep, that's Minecraft. Why fight it? By the way, trying to use the wiki or ask for help is not cheating. Minecraft is a huge game, a giant game. There's no shame. End of story. Alrighty. Time for editing. Me edit, me good. Right, let me just catch up with chat. Drink some caffeine. Yes, caffeine. Thank you for popping past Salt if you're still here. It's very much appreciated. Good afternoon, Hawk Force. I hope you're doing well, and we are recovering as fast as we can. Things are doing well. I'd say we're probably up to 60% recovered, but it is going to be slow going. But we'll get there eventually. And I do apologize for a super chat by Dragon Peanut 76. Thank you very much for the 20 Australian dollars. Is very much appreciated. And snacks are always good. Appreciated, in fact. Don't even know what I would snack on today, but I'll figure that out. Thank you for becoming a member, Hawk Force. It's very much appreciated. I think there are 6 Spiffle stories currently. I can't remember. But anyway, I mean, it was an enjoyable story. I haven't spent too much time on Minecraft, but even I can appreciate a Minecraft story like this. Yes, computer. I know you're upset. Poor computer. Very upset computer. I have no idea how to do that, James. Let me see. Super chat. Mr. King, I had voice surgery 2 months ago. Unfortunately, you don't just go back to recording. So, recovery to me is being able to record as much as I was able to before voice surgery. James, I have... Yeah, I have no idea how to enable customization. Nothing there. Nothing there. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that. To enable thumbs up on Super Chats. Fair enough, James. I don't know how. Thank you, Mr. King. Yeah, so I mean, it's a stamina thing at this point. Every day we're getting a bit stronger, but it's just going to take a month or two until we're back to normal. Alrighty, that is done. I'm just gonna pop off to the bathroom quickly. I shall be back shortly. I'll give you a squirrel, and I'll give you some music.
Hoist the sails and let the wind guide our way. We're the spacemen sailing the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn, we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Heave ho, mateys, upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Across the celestial sea.
Righty, back. Turn the music down a bit. Nope. Down. There we go. Scratch bean. Okay, just catching up with chat. Thank you, Wolfhouse. It's very much appreciated. I wish that I could take an indefinite amount of time, or however long to recover, but the algorithm won't let me. Is an easy way of saying it. Plus, I do need to exercise the voice, and this is the best way to do it. Yeah, so the AI is called Suno, S-U-N-O, generates music. All this music, not all of it. The first 5 songs on my playlist are generated by it. But yes, it's either good or horrible. I think it's Suno.com. Let me just double check. Suno.ai. Okay. On this barren land, we march as one, unearthing treasures under the sun. All good. As long as you're not spamming anything, I don't really care what you say. Yeah. Have you got a favorite game? No problem sharing it with people. We can close that. We can close this. Thank you, Desoda. Very much appreciated. Thank you for popping past. I'm just going to a more relaxed pose. We're in the post-narration chit-chat. Yeah, Fallout was good. I remember playing Fallout 2 and 3 and a little bit of 4. Right. What am I doing? Oh, right. I am moving to big aggro. Hello. And then I'm going to generate some backgrounds. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I played the Fallout series when it first came out. Yeah, it very much depends on the IP. So I think Fallout has enough of a varied lore to it that you can build a show off of it. I think any particularly story-rich game you can make a TV series or movie out of. But something like Doom, which, let's be admittedly, Doom 1 has pretty much no story. It's just about the game mechanics. So trying to make a movie about that is a bit doff, which is Afrikaans for stupid. Because you can't replicate the game mechanics in a movie.
Sailing through the cosmos, it's my final voyage, leaving Earth behind.
Yes. Look, any Uwe Boll movie is just funny, just because of how bad it is. If you've never watched an Uwe Boll movie, you need to watch an Uwe Boll movie. I recommend, what was that one? It was like, so bad. So bad. All of them were so bad. Postal. If you want an Uwe Boll movie to introduce you into the Uwe Boll universe. He was known as the worst director for very many years. Ooh, the bots have found me. Oops, nope, I don't want to click on that. Hello, bots. Goodbye, bots. Lots of bots. They're all saying the same phrase, these bots, on Twitch. One would imagine that Twitch would just ban that phrase. Or is that expecting too much from Twitch? Alrighty. Yeah, alright. I'll stop recording. Good morning, Deuce. I hope you're doing well. Afternoon. Well, afternoon for me. Time travel! It's always difficult. Yeah, Judgment Day. Judgment Day is trying to scam me. I think Terminator had it wrong. What Judgment Day really was checking your bank account and being judged. That's what Judgment Day was. Alright, background's generated. Time to make some thumbnails. I don't really watch much TV streaming services. Normally just do YouTube. Fair enough. I mean, I don't even have a TV. So, well, I do technically have a TV. It's not plugged in, though. Not even plugged into power. Okay, so what I need to do... This is not tonight's thumbnail, not one of the ones we've done today. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. No, give me a chant. That's not good, Donald Hudson. Sucks. This is the dragon story. Determined man in magic power armor. Let's see how that does. We'll also just throw in the anime version, because power armor is normally better in anime from the AI. Fair enough, Hawk Force. I've been watching since my early teens, so almost 30 years. Fair enough, Donald. Fair enough. I think YouTube is a decent selection of stuff. I think that one's nice. Probably make it a bit smaller so we can put a title in there. Ghibli animation is decent, but the what's this? Midjourney. They have a anime mode that you can enable. It's called Niji. So if you put in the prompt and you go -- Niji, it'll give you a manga version of whatever you asked for. Good evening, Captain Patriot. Hope you're doing well. Or afternoon, or morning. My afternoon, but time travel is a weird thing. Fair enough. Time zones and time travel is all relative. Ah, fair enough. I mean, we have been going for 3 hours at this point. 3 hours exactly. So, about half an hour left until we call it a night. And what are we doing? Second one should be easy. I think this one's cute. There we go. An alien plays Minecraft. Yeah, I think that works. Well, one can only hope that we get the Minecraft bump. Although, I don't know. I say one only hopes. It's a very different audience than mine. All right. That's awesome. Definitely getting more and more of a lead. We're 4 episodes ahead, I think. 3. 3 episodes ahead, and each one is over 25 minutes. Pretty cool. Well, look, there has to be something to Minecraft. It is the single most sold game. It overtook Tetris. As far as I'm aware. I mean, Tetris did hold the title for 30 years or 25 years, but I think Minecraft eventually took the title. It does. It does have a, well, not an undeserved reputation, I don't think. But very much a bad reputation. Just an explosive fridge. Yeah. Well, I think it's Minecraft has the same. Lower the volume there. Minecraft has the same draw to it as Lego, I think. Although Lego is more of a puzzle now than just build what you want. Yeah, it is definitely a complex, simple game. I think the trick with games is you want something that's easy to get into, but very difficult to master. That's why Tetris was such a draw. It was easy to understand, but to actually get good at it wasn't nearly as easy. I personally don't play Minecraft. I mean, I've spent like several hours playing it, but it's not quite for me. That's fair enough, AJ, but before Lego, that was the only way you could buy Lego, was just as a creative thing. There was no instructions. But now you've got all the millions of sets coming out, and there's only a specialist set that's for creative. So it's kind of putting their original premise on the back burner. Redstone wiring is in Minecraft. You can use it to do logic circuits, basically. From what I understand. Excuse me. I mean, there are guys that have built computers. Actual working computer logic circuits in Minecraft. I think there's the most is like a 16-bit computer or 8-bit, 6-bit, I can't remember. Thank you very much, Captain Patriot, for becoming a member. It's very much appreciated. And also it would depend on which type of hard drive you're using. Yep. I mean, there are projects that replicate the first computer with an operating system and everything. So, I mean, you can get quite in depth with Minecraft. Yes, $66.99. And the one above that is $99.66. Fair enough. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, I suppose, I need quite a powerful computer for editing and doing all the stuff. So I got quite a beefy boy. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the content, Captain Patriot. I really am. Close that. Close. Not that. Stuff and things. Stuff and things. Right. Not being particularly entertaining now, but mine's a bit frazzled, if you will. Did you hear about that that very popular YouTube channel that destroyed itself in one video about monetization? What was it called? They did documentaries and stuff. It's a multi-million subscriber channel with a very successful Patreon. And they were like, okay guys, we're putting everything behind a paywall, including the stuff that was free. We're just putting that behind a paywall now. And then to all the patrons, well, we're not going to give you anything. We're going to take all your content away, and we're going to move it off platform. So if you want to watch anything, you have to give us, I think it was $6 a month. And then they were very surprised when everybody said, shove it. Because it basically spits in the face of your entire audience. That's helped you get to where you are. And it's not like they were hurting for money. I think the Patreon was like $20,000 or $30,000 a month. Or 15, something like that. It was a ridiculously high amount. Well, that's what they were selling themselves as a streaming service. And people are like, well, you know, if I'm going to spend $6, might as well just spend it on Netflix or Disney or whatever. Going to get more money out of it. Which is fair. But I know, well, I suspect I know the reason behind it. It is a mindset that I think happens to every content creator, especially like YouTubers. It was a YouTube channel that basically removed all its content and put it behind a paywall. They basically just destroyed their entire channel. The mindset is quite simple. It's, you look at your subscribers and you go, if everybody paid me $1, $1 is not a lot of money. If everybody paid me $1, I'd make money, lots and lots of money. So that's what they thought would happen, which is not how it works. Yeah, I mean, Patreon does video hosting as well. But they created their own platform and everything, separate from Patreon, Locals, YouTube, all of that. They were probably using a AWS backbone, if I had to guess. But it's the kick in the face. Good afternoon, Durst the Demon. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's the kick in the face that, you know, all of their content, historical content, that's built their channel and is now behind a paywall and off-site. And it's one thing to say, hey guys, there's a membership thing. If you want to support the channel, you know, do the membership thing or the Patreon thing. It's very different to go, nah, fuck you all. We're putting it behind a paywall. And you have to give us money. Have to give us money to watch our stuff. Very, very, very different things. And it affects people in a very different way. So people like, where was he? Captain Patriot, becoming a member. That's fine. I wasn't forcing him to become a member. I didn't hide anything behind a paywall or anything like that. I also didn't move old content. So people like to support stuff that they like, but they don't like being told that they have to support it. Yeah, I mean, it's different if it's the way it's always been. You know, you produce a certain type of content to your Patreons only. Patrons, not Patreons. That's fine. But taking all of that and just changing it overnight without telling anybody. So it screwed over all the guys that took out like the yearly Patreon. You can do Patreon on a yearly basis. So they took they took a year's worth of Patreon, and now 6 months into this year, this channel is now not going to be posting stuff to Patreon. So it's basically, you know, kicking everybody has helped you get to where you are in the teeth. Yeah, it's very much not okay. And they've had a lot of kickback over it, which is fair enough. I mean, the equivalent would be, I don't know whether it's breach of contract. It could very well be breach of contract. It's equivalent to me taking all my content and putting it on a website and putting it behind a paywall, telling everybody they must pay for it now. It's a bit of a dick move, quite simply. No, don't worry about it, Dirty Demon. I've always said look after you and yours before you worry about me and mine. And I'll say that until the day I die. Putting extra stress onto your viewers about money, I don't think is great. If you can afford it, great. If you can't afford it, it's also great. You watch the content, you enjoy the content, that's fine. The Peanut Gallery, the last time was 2 years. I created the server and didn't upload for 2 years. Mainly because of stability issues, so I didn't want to touch the server. But about 3 weeks ago, I went and I added 250 stories to the 24-hour live stream. So I should add more. But I have to go and edit every single video independently before I upload them. So I've still got like another 1,000 videos to go. I mean, ideally it would be a couple months. That's very much appreciated, Brian. Oh, I was about to do something. Oh, right, that. Super secret. Sending a memo. I feel like a corporate person. I shall send a memo to my staff. Which means I'm sending an email to my wife. Oh, thank you very much for the gifted sub, Brian. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, so the first 700 stories weren't added to the 24-hour stream because there was no scrolling text. So those stories that need to be redone haven't been added to the stream yet. But yeah, I mean, editing 1,000 videos takes up quite a bit of time. Because I have to remove the beginning and end. So there's no intro and outro. Takes a long time. Fair enough, Hawk Force. Fair enough. I personally watch YouTube with premium. Pays the creators just as much as they would be earning through adverts, and I don't have to deal with adverts. Itchy. Yep, that's what kids do. They are. But in the end, they're worth it. Good evening, Nick Stone. I hope you're doing well. I'm assuming you're talking to me. I don't normally respond to sir, but... lemon boats. Fair enough. Nope. What is today? Tuesday. Yeah, this is hump day for me. By the end of this, excuse me. By the end of this week, we should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 be almost a week ahead. Almost. By the end of next week, we'll definitely be a week ahead. Maybe even close to 2. Fair enough, Nick Stone, fair enough. Just not used to people calling me sir. I wasn't attacked by the queen with a sword, or the king with a sword, so sir is a bit weird. But I do understand where it comes from. It is appreciated. Yes, it is bad when everybody knows. 2-week sickness is definitely coming. For those of you who don't know, any time that I've ever gotten 2 weeks ahead, I get sick. Like clockwork. But when we're about, I don't know, let's go with 13 days ahead instead of 2 weeks, we'll start doing re-TFOS until we can do both a TFOS and a re-TFOS every week. And only then will we start with the series. Series are a little bit easier to do because I'm not recording the video, so there's that. And they'll be slightly shorter. Yeah, I hope so too, James. I really do. But only time will tell. Yeah. 12 days ahead. Definitely. 13, I think, is cutting it a bit too close. Tempting fate. But I mean, hopefully Portugal will suit my sinuses. Fair enough, Durst Demon. Fair enough. See, this is the squirrel when he's not aggro. Well, it's not me. That is the non-aggro squirrel. Yeah, definitely. Murphy rules my life more than my wife does. The Impossible Man, making my life hell since, well, the day I was born, probably. Although the day I was born wasn't my problem, it was somebody else's problem. Specifically, my parents. I'm playing with the microphone again. Need to learn to stop doing that. Ugh. Fair enough, next time. There's quite a lot of work over there on the second channel, third channel, the series channel. Fair enough. The irony that this is an AI-generated picture isn't lost on me. No. I mean, I watch a couple odd channels. Some of them are interesting. Not so much cooking channels. I just find myself getting hungry. And I just want to eat whatever they're making. Like, oh, donuts. Or, oh, steak. Me eat steak. Me hungry now. I was holding in a yawn. I didn't suddenly want to burst out crying. And so my eyes got all watery. It's because I was holding in a yawn. Fair enough, Nick. I try to use the full display names in case two people have the same first name. Like James. There's like 4 different Jameses. Probably the new species, the second book. I enjoyed the first one. It's quite good. I don't mind. I mean, I'm also enjoying in Survivor Meets Dungeon. Survivor Meets Dungeon. Yeah, Survivor Meets Dungeon. But yeah, we've got a lot of series coming up. Oh, excuse me. Oh, God. I started yawning and now I can't stop. But yeah, Survivor Meets Dungeon, new threat, which is book 2 of the new species. Something else. Can't remember. Yeah, Survivor becomes a dungeon. My mind has turned to mush. Forgive me. Now I can't stop yawning. For some reason. Although I didn't sleep spectacularly well last night. That definitely does sound tasty, does. Definitely sounds tasty. Medic Man, yeah, YouTube likes to unsubscribe, especially when you get to like a milestone. So I've noticed like when you get to 1,000 or a round number like that, you'll lose a whole bunch of, or I'll lose a bunch of subscribers. It'll unsubscribe a whole bunch of people. I mean, notifications also suck because, well, I've been back for 3 weeks now, posting, and there's still people only realizing now that I'm back, and they're subscribed, so. YouTube notifications on both videos and posts. It's not great. Yes. The wife would have been uploading it because it's now fully edited. It'll be membership only, I think. Oh, yeah, should be members only at the moment. But that's tonight's video. Isn't it? That is tonight's video. Yeah, so it's yeah, so now we're post-surgery, still recovering. I think it'll be another month or two before I'm back to 100%, but we're getting there. We're a lot better than we were 2 weeks ago. Cheers, Deuce. Sleep well. Alrighty. And that is 3.5 hours. A little bit over 3.5 hours. Thank you all for choosing to spend your morning and evening with me. It is very, very much appreciated. Hopefully, I provided you enough entertainment to earn your time. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic day, or night, or sleep. I hope whatever you choose to do, it is uneventful and fantastic. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. 10 a.m. GMT plus 2. I definitely will thank my wife. She does. She definitely does. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. Manic Man, it'll be GMT plus 2, 10 a.m. Cool. Cheers.